We should be live. We should be live. Let's see how long this. Let's see if my PS5 don't gonna randomly shut up in the middle of it this time. Probably hoping for the best. There we go. The YouTube notification. And so I now know 100% that we are in fact definitely up and running. Hello to anybody who's just started to join us. Just giving it enough time for people to actually join us then and see what's going on from there. Jin saying we want tier 5 done time even contemplating this. So tier 5 didn't answer my question first. That's essentially all it comes down to. I asked the question in the chat, tier 2 got to it beforehand. The simple thing is, there's two of them. There's a decision to make. So I asked the question in the chat, and that question was answered first. Alright, just give it a couple minutes then before we get going. I'm just typing a message in Discord chatting. Yeah, it's. I saw that I have 2 tiers to do. I have time now, and I have time on Monday before practicing in nodes races. And I'm not particularly bothered which one I did first, so I just asked the question. I need to add tier 2 now. Make sure that they are actually aware that we are live before this, so that way they can actually watch. Just get everything sorted. Alright. Tier 4 to talk about things. Just, that's everything sorting itself out now. Now I need to go and double check all my, my sound and everything of that nature. Just a very quick sound check. Alright, let's hope that doesn't peak when I start to actually start to do this properly. Hello, hello Asador. Yes, indeed, Jane. It is a snooze, you lose kind of situation. I'll do yours on about probably after I've had lunch on Monday now for tier 5, unless I find the effort to do it beforehand. I also would just fit easier in the schedule, do it on the same day than practicing for Kyoto. But also fits very well into today, where we're doing Tier 2 comms now, just before I start practicing on Trial Mountain Reverse, which is certainly going to be an interesting time. Yeah, so we just got a couple more minutes before, so people can start piling into chat. They actually figure out that I am in fact live and do in fact want to join us for the next 14 laps. But it's not going to be that long, I don't think, today. Might be a shorter stream than normal. Until I realised that this is Le Mans and everyone is going to kill each other. That could also be the case. It probably is going to be the case, let's be honest. It's Le Mans. It's a wide track, but people are going to take way too much advantage of said wide track, in my opinion. But I guess as long as you get over that white line over there, you've done better than I did. Not a sad statement to say at all. But yeah, right. I think we've been going for long enough. Yeah, we're about the 6-minute mark now on the stream. So we've given people enough time to get into the stream, and we'll get rolling with the grid now. I can actually see people's liveries unlike before. Went and deleted a couple of old timers in terms of in terms of my collected like videos and that stuff. So we'll get to see everyone's actual design livery this time. So Mortal starts on pole position. It's the first time I've seen that in a while. In the Viper. Let's see if he can actually do something with that. We got OG in second in the GTR. Honey Badger in third with the Merc 20. And his teammate Bodnian in fourth, also in a Merc 20. Dude, the teammate of Mortal, currently second in the championship, going into the day. 1 point behind the car that starts directly in front of him on the grid, Honey Badger. Bearing in mind, literally on track, directly in front, not actually in front in terms of the standings. But Turbo Boy starts 6th, our Factors starts 7th, and I think Dude and our Factors might be getting back into this, which would be round like number 16 this season. Between those two. Then you've got Elian in 8th, Asseldor in 9th. The RCZ's doing okay. I think they would have been in a position to do a little bit better than this season, but they haven't really. Would have thought Dan, given the last couple of weeks, would have been higher than 10th here. That Super should, in theory, be very, like, lightning quick on this track, but not the greatest of qualifying for him. Same goes for Ben in the same car as well in 11th, so the Super 97 did not have a fun time here, neither did the Porsches, 12th and 13th, Perry ahead of Ross. And you've got Chris in the Jaguar, and then Nectar at the back in a BMW. We're doing all right in practice around here, to be fair. I'm surprised that he does, in fact, start at the back of the grid for this one. Hello, dude. This might be the first time you've made the Tier 2 stream in, like, nearly a month. Yeah, we're just about to get going here, so... Alright, without further ado, let's start the 4-lap sprint of Le Mans. There's 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out, away we go, down towards turn 1. This is an awful camera angle when you put the headlights on. Let's see who gets a good start. The dude is flying off the start. Mortal got away really quickly as well. Dude hit up into second for 5th. It's a lightning start by both the Vipers. And we'll see if that can continue in this one. Bodnian stayed in 4th. He started 4th, and Honey Badger's going to be the big loser in all this. He drops down from 3rd to 5th. OG is in 3rd, for started in 2nd, and not really under fire until... Oh, a little bit of a hit there from behind by Bodnian, but no one really gets affected by the hit, so it is what it is. Our Factor back into 7th. He is just having to defend now from Dan, who's got off the line pretty well, up to 8th already. As we head round down the straight for the first time. He heads into the first of the chicanes very shortly. We'll see if anyone realistically had any sort of balls to pull off a move at the start. There's Turbo Boy going after our backside after Dan got past him as well. Mortal dude still ahead as at the front, and not really an awful lot happens further on towards the front there. It's still Mortal from the dude. Mortal having a decent gap. OG there behind, and then Bodnian after that. And you got Honey Badger who's just sliding off the back a little bit, but still within slipstream, and that's where you want to be. And Asseldor there just about saving himself. Dan the Man getting through properly now, and Turbo Boy using Dan the Man in every way possible to get past our backside as well. Turbo Boy maybe looking to the inside. He should probably be looking to work together rather than to make an early move. There's our backside down the inside of Dan the Man as well, and Dan the Man might be about to lose multiple positions here. He lost on Turbo Boy, but he's now picking up the slipstream from Turbo Boy and saved himself from our backside. We go back towards the front. Let's see if the Mercedes are going after each other. They are at the moment. It looks like Honey Badger has just got in front of his teammate, and he has. So Honey Badger into Le Mans, leads the way. Let's see if he continues to lead the way post Le Mans. It doesn't look too great there. That something else has happened in the back there. Well, let's go have a proper look. Let's see what's happened as we head down the back. As we head down toward the halfway point of the lap, essentially. Heading back up the track. What's happened here? Dan the Man down the inside of Turbo Boy. Oh, and that's our Faxon. That is our Faxon. Let's get a proper look at this. Oh, this is quite the hit. Turbo Boy against Dan the Man right in front of us. Let's Dan the Man goes to the inside. Does that pretty cleanly, pretty nicely, and oh, never mind. He got punted. Okay, our Faxon got absolutely destroyed at the back there. He cleared out Turbo Boy as a result. Wow. That is a hefty hit. Very hefty hit. Certainly OG getting overtaken now by Honey Badger and also by Bodnian. OG drops to 5th in this one. To start off with, we're still on lap 1 as we head now through Indianapolis. And OG playing a little bit of fire there, getting into the gravel. You don't want to be doing that too much. Just about to take the car on the way through, down to the first gear now, trying to get past Bodnian. Let's see if he can get past the Mercedes quickly in this one. Here comes dude up front. He's close to Mortal now, but isn't going to get Mortal at this point of the race. As we go through the mid to end of the end of lap 1. We look and see OG got back on Bodnian relatively quickly there. Bodnian not able to hold his ground. Here comes OG, who tries to fight back against Honey Badger as well. You got Asseldor, who's now significantly closer to the leading pack. In 6th, and well, that did not look great. There's a little bit deep there from both Mortal and from Dude. The Vipers carrying a little bit too much speed through there, I think. As we now head down into the chicane, let's hope nobody goes too wide here. I found out you can't do that in the hardest way possible. A little bit of another tap from Bodnian on OG. There seems to be something that is going on between the Merc and that GTR. We head down towards turn 1 now. Dude still ahead of Honey Badger. That's the lead. That's the fight for the lead of the championship right now, going on for 2nd place. Bear in mind, at the beginning of the day, Honey Badger, the orange Mercedes, led the championship out of Barcelona by a singular point. We might have a penalty for somebody here. I'm not entirely sure who it is. Yeah, okay, so Dan's got a 2nd penalty there. So he's going to drop back towards his teammate. When that gets served, his teammate coming through the end of the 1st sector now has actually got a significant way to catch up for that 2nd and realistically even matter. Dan the Man is going to drop off the back of Asseldor. Got also a penalty here for Honey Badger, as Honey Badger is still right on the back of Dude. That obviously won't last too long, but he's still there. Dude, as it stands, would take the lead of the championship back. A little bit of now we've got a little bit of help here from Honey Badger on the Dude, which is relatively surprising. Those two, I would have expected those two to be going hammer and tong each other, knowing their situation, but They're playing a little bit of catch up here on Mortal, and Honey Badger's willing to play second fiddle for now. Obviously, with his penalty, he definitely sees it a little bit differently than normal. That's for sure. As we now head down the straight once again, we're about 1.5 laps through now. Mortal and Dude getting there right to the end of the second straight, and looked like a little bit of smoke was kicked up there. And well, everyone still seems to be as they were, apart from Dan the Man, who's now got past Asseldor, which won't last too long in the grand scheme of things. That second penalty is going to yank Dan the Man right back. As we now head to the halfway point of, well, the effective halfway point of the Le Mans lap. As we get down here into the into the hairpin. Goes through, and Asseldor looking to the inside now, and Dan the Man, can he get it? The front five not separated by a lot, but enough not to be able to make overtakes. Here's Asseldor and Dan the Man still side by side, going down the the back part of this track now. Will they go side by side into Indianapolis? Is it going to work? It looked like Dan the Man stayed in front for now. The penalty will come back to bite him later on, though. And by later on, I mean in like 2 corners time, as we go into, well, we've got about 2 sectors left of the track now, as Asseldor is going to go to the inside of Dan the Man before the penalty line even hits. It's a nice little switchback, but he can't really get it off, because now he has to serve that second. Will Ben go by? Will Big Beaver go by on his teammate here? It looked like he will. And it looked like also Honey Badger drops a few positions as well. His 1 second penalty seems to have done more damage than Dan's did. Dan only lost 2 positions, and Honey Badger dropped all the way to 6th. And also in 9th, Ross defending from both the Porsches right now. You are factored in 12th, Turbo Boy in 13th, Chris at 14th, Nectar in 15th. Nothing really happening at the back of the grid. You got Dude really having to cover off Emoji right now, as Mortal has a significant gap in the lead of this race through lap 2. As we now come to the end of the second lap, Le Mans chicanes, the back-to-back, the chicanes, which can definitely punish you if you get it wrong. But it feels so satisfying to get that set of chicanes right, especially if you've got someone you can catch up on you and nail a run down towards turn 1. But it hasn't really happened here. It's still Mortal. Oh, there goes Bosnian on the inside. Can he get the inside of OG here? No, he will not. And OG survived just a slight bit longer. And there goes Honey Badger. There goes Honey Badger off the track. Honey Badger gets, I think, got reset there momentarily there. Honey Badger off the track as he tried to go after Asseldor. And he's now down in 8th, having to try and attack Dan the Man. And not doing it very well at the moment. Wow, and now on to lap 3 or 4. Mortal still heads the Dude, who still heads OG and Bodnian in 4th. And then Asseldor's got a little bit of daylight to himself now. And after that, Big Beaver in 6th, who's just been working his way up ever so slowly after a really poor qualifying for the Supers. We now head down the straight, Dan the Man versus Honey Badger. Is Honey Badger going to bump him to help him? Or is he going to go for the move to the inside, down into the first of the chicanes on the straight? And neither is going to be true. Dan the Man covers it off relatively well. A little bit of a slide on the exit of the first one. And we now head down towards the end of the second sector on the lap here. And it looks like Honey Badger is still going to hang to the back of Dan the Man and not really make that move yet. That Super's proving to be a little bit too quick, as we got Big Beaver overtaking Asseldor there for 5th place in the race. Asseldor looked to switch back to the inside but couldn't do it. And that'll allow for Beaver to just start rolling on through. Bodnian and OG have caught up to the front pack now. And we'll see whether or not there is anything going to happen between the front pack, these two that we're watching, and then the mid pack in the back there having their own little fight as well. It looked like Beaver is now starting to clear Hasseldahl a little bit until he made a mistake. He's gone deep. He's gone very deep. And that allows for Hasseldahl to go on through. And I think Bodnian also getting past OG for a split second before OG uses the dude's slipstream to get back in. And Bodnian's just going to have to settle again. So the front four right beside each other. Then you've got Hasseldahl and Ben also really close to each other with heading into, well, we're now heading into the mid part of lap 3. It looks like Dude is going to survive against his teammate here and also against OG, and everyone seems to be bumping each other in the back a little bit. Also, Dan the Man got back past Honey Badger here. Ross also has a half-second penalty as he got past Elian not that long ago and now has to serve it. We'll give back the position to Elian and probably to Perry as well as Perry. Oh, there's someone in the wall back there. I think that's Turbo Boy again. And it is Turbo Boy again. In the wall. On the penalty line. Which is never good news to do that. I'll say that much. The Dan the Man versus Honey Badger. Honey Badger on the outside now, and you're never going to get the outside to work there unless you've got a lot of overspeed. Honey Badger doesn't have that because it's a Super 97 in front of him and straight line speed in particular, so Super 97 is ungodly. Here comes Honey Badger trying to make advantage of a mistake though, and he will do. He got in front of Dan the Man because Dan the Man just got the final couple of sectors just all wrong from start to finish. That looked like a cut to the inside, maybe a penalty or two heading the way of Honey Badger there. Oh, and he's in the gravel! He's got 2.5 and he's in the gravel! Oh, he got it wrong. He just got the chicane all sorts of wrong. And we're now heading towards, well, on the final lap now, heading towards the Mulsanne straight one more time as we go through the middle of the first sector. Is there any late drama to happen in this one? As we go through, well, I think that's to what, turn 3, turn 4, heading down now to the straight. One more corner before we hit the famous straight here at Le Mans. That looked a little bit deep from the dude. Let's see if anything's going to happen. Mortal from the dude, from OG, from Bosnian. As we go down the Mulsanne straight one more time in this sprint race. As we head down now, what is there anything? OG pulls out to the inside. Can he go alongside dude? He will go alongside dude. Bosnian pulls to try and give an advantage here. And he looks like he's going to slip back into the dude's slipstream. And it looks like I'm going to get a far better camera angle of this. That did not... Oh, that's collision there. That's a collision there. Get a better camera angle of this, please. Let's do a little bit of chase cam. Can I get a... Can we do this properly, please, Gabe? Thank you. As we go down, let's have a second look at this. We go down through the Mulsanne straight, going down into the first of the chicanes. OG pulls to the inside of dude. Is there anything going to happen here? There's a little bit of a bump draft there from Bosnian and OG. See if he could possibly force it through. Mortal in the lead. Mortal breaks a little bit earlier, avoids the collision between Dude and OG. And oh, there's a little bit of a collision there between Dude and OG on the outside. There's Hasseldahl has got into the gravel, didn't even realise that in the first one, but he's lost a little bit of time there. Beaver's got to go on through, and he sees everyone in the distance. The real question there now is whether or not that was moving under braking in the first part of that chicane from Dude. Immortal realising very late that he had to get out of the way of that of the battle at the very least. I think he sees Dude and OG very, very late. Hence a little bit of a slide to the left. It caused him to go off the track as well. The lot that went on there, I'm not entirely sure it was clean. Wait, well, I don't even think it's been reported, so it's not even like, well, I could say we'll wait and see what the stewards think about that. Personally, I would have taken it, I would have asked the question at the very least, but it looked like everything was deemed a little bit deemed clean here. Hard racing at the very most. Here comes Mortal, who's still there against the Dude. Mortal's still there in the lead. Dude's still in second. OG in third. Bosnian's still in fourth. Ben is definitely on the back of this group now. He's starting to get the slipstream, starting to get himself involved. Let's see what's going to happen now as we head towards Indianapolis for the last time. Let's see. Mortal still heads through from the Dude right now. It's the Viper 1-2 so far in this race as we go down now into the second to last sector. Is there anything that's going to happen? We go through the corner. Oh, Mole's lost the car! Mole's lost the car. I think Mole's got off track. Mole has got off track. He's facing the wrong way. And Mole, from the lead of this race, loses the car by a split second. Half spin at most, and his teammate goes right into the back of him. Unfortunate for the Vipers. Dude's going to take advantage of it, though. He storms off into the lead now. And you've got OG in second, Bosnian in third. The podium looks a little bit different now. Bosnian now to the, well, about to be to the inside here, the corner. Is he going to get into second? He is for now. Is he going to be able to hold second? Also, a big Beaver up into fourth, who's still trying to press. Just trying to press an issue or two here, hoping for a mistake. OG now on the inside of Bosnian, who got that all wrong. And he hands the position back to OG. As we head into the final 4 or 5 corners of the lap, dude's still in the lead. As he has gained a little bit of breathing room now to OG, and Bosnian is still hanging right on the rear of that Nissan GTR. And it looked like Bosnian going to look to the inside of the chicane. A little bit of a touch there. Nothing really going to happen though. OG survives for now. Dude goes past the final corner. He's made it. And he's made it clean. And he's won the race. Here at Le Mans, he's won the sprint race, and that will be his second win of the season. OG gets second, Bosnian over the line in third, just about. In the end, Beaver gets fourth. He's done a good job from 11th. Dan the Man gets fifth in a good race for the Supras. Asseldor gets sixth. His one mistake, probably watching too much of the front runners, costing him there. You got Mortal, who ends up seventh as a result of everything in that race there, and I think that is Ross. Yeah, Ross in the end ends up in 8th, Elian in 9th, and I think there's our factor to round out the points. It is to round out the points here in the Le Mans Sprint. Wow, that was a there was a lot that happened on the final. The race kind of came to life there on the final lap. The teammates colliding. Well, the teammates colliding not once but twice. As well as dudes getting into it with OG, which is also not the first time we've seen that this season. A lot of everything that happened there. Wow. Everything changed on its head there at the end of the sprint, that's for sure. And now we've got a entire 10 laps of Le Mans to watch. The real question is anyone going to do a 4-6? If they do a 4-6, then we might be looking at our race winners there. We'll see if anyone had the ball to do it. Tier 4 had an interesting couple of choices, that's for certain. But we'll see as everything will begin to unfold here. Lap 1 of 10 at Le Mans. I assume everyone will be on a medium tyre. No, they will not. Okay. That is rather surprising. It is going to be everyone but Perry on the medium tyre. Perry will start in the soft. So Turbo Boy at the front. Perry second. Nectar third. In the BMW, let's see what happens there. You got Honey Badger in fourth, who started pretty well in the sprint. It didn't end pretty well in the sprint. So we'll wait and see what Honey Badger we're getting here. Dude also takes the lead of the championship at the end of the sprint race here. Then you got Chris in fifth. So that means Honey Badger ended what? 12th, I want to say, in the race. Dude won it, so well, that's a 15-point swing there from the sprint. The 14-point lead is what currently Dude holds. I didn't see who got the fastest lap in etc. in the prior race, so we're just going to take it face value and say 14 for the moment in time. Then you got Chris in fifth, Faxid in sixth, Jaguar 5-6 start. Then you got Elian in seventh, and both BMWs starting the top seven. Ross in eighth, and that's a relatively decently large gap for this kind of start. I'm not entirely sure that would, that's okay. Mortal in 9th. And you've got Asseldor in 10th, Dan the Man in 11th, Big Beaver in 12th, Bosnian in 13th, OG in 14th, and the Dude in 15th. That's the reverse of your podium there, but from the first race. Bosnian on the podium for 3 straight sprints. So he's got the sprint nailed down, and he just needs to start working with a few of the features now. As we now go through, and we're about to start the Le Mans feature. 10 laps around this historic track. Let's see what he's going to throw at us today. 2, 1, and we are off. Turbo Boy is going to lead us down towards turn 1. We've got Perry behind. Both of those cars don't really have great top speed, so we'll see if Nectar in the BMW can get a good start off in 3rd. As we go down towards turn 1 now, nothing really happening here. As where he did the rolling start, and it's not really a long enough time for anyone to start forcing the issue. And it looked like Honey Badger was trying to force the issue with Nectar, but couldn't really get it going. And we've also got Chris and our factor there in 5th and 6th, Elian in 7th, Ross in 8th, Morton in 9th. Not really anyone moving the needle just yet. Asseldor in 10th, Dan in 11th, already had a 2nd penalty. I'm not entirely sure how you managed that. There goes Bodnian on the inside of Big Beaver. It's a pretty unorthodox move to make there, but it's a move. If you can make it stick, then fair play. And that's exactly what Bosnian's done. So Bosnian makes the first overtake of the feature race there, and a good one nonetheless. As we see the 3 at the back, also the 3 at the back trying to do something, trying to force something here. Perry hits the lead of this race. Turbo Boy's on the inside. Turbo Boy's got the inside now and takes the lead of this race back, and it looks like Nectar now trying to push the needle against Perry as well, and Perry getting caught out a little bit there. Well, survives nonetheless in the end. And it looks like we're headed down to the end of the second chicane now, into the second chicane now, and Turbo Boy from Perry, and now we've got a little bit of a bump draft going. Honey Badger's now up into 3rd as well, as we're now rolling through into the second chicane. Well, I say chicane, I guess we'll call them chicanes. I don't actually know if they are actually in fact called that, or it would be even classed as a chicane. But we're going to call them that anyway. As yeah, Honey Badger's still behind Perry, pretty much the lead as it was beforehand, apart from the fact that Nectar's been overtaken. And it looked like down into the midway of the first lap. Nectar on the outside there, goes a bit deep, and Chris is allowed on through. And Chris and the Jaguar is allowed on through on the inside. We've got problems in the backfield there. We're going to go all the way back here. We've got things to watch here. Dan the Man got overtaken by a numerous amount of people here as well. Here comes Ben, who just goes a bit deep. Oh, and it gets plowed into the side of, I think that's Bosnian as well. Let's see if anyone else has got caught up in all of that. Again, it's almost like you're getting instant replay of about 100 different angles here. Let's see if anyone else had anything to do with this. I think, oh yeah, it's Dan the Man. It's Dan the Man who just hits the back of Bosnian and into the back of his own teammate. Oh, that's just an unfortunate mistake. A little bit too late on the brakes, maybe. As the dude also goes past OG and all that absolute calamity. So we see go a little bit further forward, Mortal ahead of Ross now as well. And I think that's our factored against Elian in the foreground of the picture when we were watching Ross, and it's still there for our factored, who's got a half-second penalty. We'll drop behind the Elian pretty much immediately. Don't know if they'll drop behind Mortal or Ross. We'll wait and see. So we're going to set that penalty now. He's going to get off the racing line. It's pretty good doing work there from our factored serving that penalty. To see if he's going to lose the position, Elian. Is he going to lose one to Mortal as well? Mortal got the inside line now. He's going to pull alongside, and I think he might be in front. He is in front of that Jaguar. And the Viper is going to overtake the Jaguar now for 7th in this race. And yeah, he's got fully in front now as well. Ross directly behind that. So we've got Turbo Boy from Honey Badger from Perry now, so Perry lost out to Honey Badger in all of this. You got Chris in 4th, Elian losing out, I think, there as well. The penalty for Honey Badger, half a second, is going to have to do something to gain that gap now. He doesn't have that gap currently to Perry. I'm not even totally sure he's got that gap to Chris, who's currently sat in 4th. We'll wait and see when we get to the mid of next lap. We are now 1/10 of the way through this race as Turbo Boy leads us over the line in first, and he did at the beginning of the race. He now leads us at the end of lap 1. Perry being the only one on the different tyre compound as well, which should bring things very interesting later on. There's Honey Badger trying to go after Turbo Boy, not really able to do it right now. We've still got the half-second penalty. Perry there as well. Chris and then Nectar and then Elian, and I think our factor, yeah, obviously with the penalty dropped a couple of positions in as a whole of this one, as we're now heading towards the Mulsanne all over again. It doesn't look like anyone at the front here is going to pick penalty to going too wide at the middle, at the beginning of the Mulsanne straight there, and we'll head down. Looks like people are going to start to actually. Are we going to get bump drafts here? I don't even think we are. Here comes Honey Badger for the lead of this race, down towards the chicane. It looked like he was pulling alongside. He definitely was pulling alongside. I'm surprised he didn't go for it, and decides to pull back out of that one. Turbo Boy holds on to the lead for a little while longer now. And here comes the Honey Badger again as we head down towards the second chicane. Is he going to be able to do it this time? He's on the outside of this one. Turbo Boy on the inside of this one. And they're still pretty much there, and Perry's trying to fit himself in now. Where can Perry come into this equation? It doesn't look like it's going to be on this chicane. Turbo Boy has gone way too far to the inside. Trying to hold his position. Not entirely sure why he would go so far inside, and it's cost him dearly. He's not lost one, he's lost two. And Turbo Boy drops to 3rd. Honey Badger takes the lead of this race with Perry in 2nd. Honey Badger has a penalty. It doesn't look like an awful lot changed outside of the front 3 in the top 8. As we now head down into what I consider the halfway point of the lap. And it's too deep! It's way too deep there by Honey Badger. And he's given up first now. Seems to be a little bit of a curse right now. Whoever hits first just ends up giving up their position rather easily. And now Turbo Boy hits the lead of this race again with Perry on the inside. They're almost side by side right now. You've got Chris behind them, and Honey Badger with a penalty to serve, which is going to cost him dearly now. Because it might drop him outside the top 7. As we now head through Indianapolis, and Honey Badger is still there. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like Hasseldor is though. Hasseldor definitely not. Perry's gone deep. And now Honey Badger's going to pull alongside. Can he get it done? Well, he's going to have, well, he might have been able to get it done, but now the penalty's going to screw him. And we've got a bit of a problem in the back here. Let's have a look at what's going on properly. Down into this corner, it looked like it might have been, I'm not entirely sure, it might have been Nectar actually. Oh, Nectar's gone, Nectar's the wrong way. Nectar is definitely the wrong way. You don't want to be seeing that too often. Ben Beaver's got a 1.5. You got OG ahead of Hasseldor as well. Elian overtaken, well, still there by our factor. Dude up into 7th now as well. You got Ross behind him, in front of him with Mortal and Honey Badger fighting in front. They've got Chris, Perry and Turbo that currently head the way. As we head towards the end of the second 4-minute lap here in this race, and that's what they all are at the end of the day. They're all going to be in between the 3:55 and the 4-minute mark from the drivers here in this race. We'll wait and see whether or not people are going to be able to make sure that this actually rolls on. There you go, it's been moved away a little bit. Try and do that without creating as much noise as possible there. I keep having to change it because people at the bar, when I go into the bar, people say that I'm extremely quiet, and yeah, it's kind of both. It looked like Turbo Boy and Perry are still fighting. We're still fighting each other. They actually are still fighting each other. They go through turn 3, and it doesn't look like well, turn 4 to turn 5 now, and it doesn't look like Perry's got anything on Turbo here. As we head down towards the straight once again. You've got Chris ahead of Honey Badger in 4th, Mortal in 5th, Ross in 6th, Dude in 7th as it stands. I think that would be a 6-point swing back in the favour of Honey Badger in this race, which means the title will be about 8 points with 2 to play. And we'll go down here. It looks like Turbo Boy has cleared a little bit of a gap in front, and both Chris and Honey Badger are going to go by here. Honey Badger late a little bit on the brakes. Perry's still alongside, maybe a little bit in front of Honey Badger now, and Chris got by without much problems, and Perry has managed to hang on and cling on for dear life against Honey Badger. In 3rd now. Perry on the soft tyres is not doing much of anything, and I think it was a mistake to do that. I think the mistake to do the soft tyres is you've got to have the mediums while you're in the traffic, and then the softs while you're able to just nail down the lap times. It's not how this has worked out for Perry, and the entire plan seems counterintuitive in the end. It looked like Turbo Boy went very deep there. I'll be surprised if that's not a penalty. As Perry tries to fight back Chris immediately, and yeah, that is half a second for Turbo Boy, and that's not at all surprising as we continue to the front here. And it looks like also a penalty for someone in the midfield there. Here comes Chris to the outside, sorry, of Turbo Boy, and he now leads the race here, Chris. It's a pretty good drive from the Jaguar until he goes too deep. He just about survives. Same goes for Perry in 3rd. That looked like he was about to smack some gravel, but he avoided it too, and it looked like someone else in the back there was also about to find a trip to a place that they definitely wouldn't have wanted, but also survived there as well. It's Turbo Boy who's got the outside line, trying to take the lead back in this race, and has done effectively at the moment. And you've got Honey Badger who's ahead of Perry as well. The front 4 separated by barely anything as we now head for Indianapolis, looking towards the mid-end of the lap. Up to the penalty line we go, and it looks like multiple people will serve penalties here. Turbo Boy is one of them. As we go to the penalty line, let's see how far Turbo Boy's going to drop. It's definitely going to be behind Chris, who's now your race leader. And here comes Honey Badger on the outside as well. Will Honey Badger go for this? He's got the speed to do so. He's got the outside line to do so now as well. And Honey Badger has got past Turbo Boy as well. Maybe even go a shot here for Perry if he wants it. Nope, that is covered off very nicely there by Turbo Boy on the inside. So, a little bit of a change in positioning now then. Chris is in the lead. You got Honey Badger 2nd, Turbo Boy in 3rd, Perry in 4th, Mortal in 5th. And it's the Dude at 6th, as Ross has had I think Ross might have been the one with the penalty. He's now dropped all the way back into 8th, behind our Faxon. What's this? This is the feature race for Tier 2. This is comms for the feature race of Tier 2, one of the tiers that we run on a Monday night GT 40-minute race. We had to do it in 10 laps because GT also only had a 180-second follow-up point from the end of a 40-minute race, so it is what it is. And the Le Mans lap is a 4-minute lap, so you're definitely not getting that done in time. We're going through now. Here comes the Turbo Boy, still defending from Perry in what seems to be the battle of the day so far, because those guys are just not leaving each other's sides until right about now, and I think Perry has now got Mortal to deal with more than he's got Turbo Boy to deal with. And as Chris still leads this race, you've got both the Vipers in 5th and 6th. The Viper Constructors Championship standing right now seems to be in a much better position than it was on well, prior to this race anyway, after Barcelona. And we've got Chris versus Honey Badger now. Honey Badger's got the speed. That Jaguar just does not have the pace to catch up. Oh wow, to keep up, sorry, with the Mercedes. And the Mercedes is now going to blast its way into the lead of this race. Honey Badger now in the lead, Chris in second, Turbo Boy in third, and this is just who can use the slipstream most effectively. And as it stands, it's the Merc that is doing it, albeit getting a penalty at every opportunity as well. Kind of hampering the ability to do anything here. And we're on lap 4 now, almost into the pit window, realistically, of some of the guys here. If they are brave enough to do so, it's definitely the better strategy to do 4-6 rather than anything else. Realistically, as 5-5 is definitely worse on a 4-minute track. The undercut is quite substantial. Honey Badger's got a quite substantial lead in the process when you're talking about Le Mans leads at the very least in a Group 3 car, because I don't think Chris is in that much of a slipstream, if any at all. Mortal in third now as well. Mortal is flying. Perry dropped down to 6, even being on soft tires. That's a bit deep for Chris, and a little bit of a touch on the gravel will bring Mortal into the battle against Chris now as well. And it looks like Dude's going to have a go at Turbo in the backfield here as well. Dude picks up half a second, which is not good news for him. That'll probably be served this lap. He'll hold on to the lead against Turbo Boy right now. They had over Turbo Boy anyway in 4th place, and then drop behind, probably back behind Perry after the half second. In a few corners time, I'd assume he's going to serve it this lap. And he will serve it this lap. The gain showing the slowdown. Oh, that looked like Chris has got a bit deep. Mortal's touched the gravel, but Chris has gone very deep. And we're now going to go 3 wide into this corner. Chris on the inside, Turbo Boy, then followed by Perry. And the Dude is going to get, well, away with one here, because that freeway battle has probably allowed him to stay, probably to lose 1 position max. Here comes Chris by now, as we see Turbo Boy who's going to go to the opposite side Chris just did. If he can get alongside at all, that is, and it doesn't look like he will. Heading into the more technical part of the lap, Turbo Boy actually will get alongside him, will get through on the Dude, and maybe that allows for Perry as well, a little bit of contact. The hole opening up, and Dude will get past Perry as well. Get passed by Perry, sorry, as well, in the final couple of seconds of the lap 4 here. So Honey Badger from Mortal, from Chris, from Turbo, from Perry, and it looks like Turbo's not done yet. You got Ross and Bodnian trying to fight his way back after the incident earlier on between Dan, him, and Big Beaver. As nobody pits so far. Nobody goes for it, which is incredible. And it looks like OG is in 10th right now as well. He has just not been able to get going at all either. Wow, nobody goes for it. As we continue on to lap 5. So it's going to be completely unanimous then that basically every single person on the grid is going in at the end of this lap. No one tried to 6 laps. The Lexus, probably the only car that could do that then. Turbo did. Ah, no, yeah, no, you're right. Didn't even see Turbo go in. Turbo's the only one who's tried it. Yeah, Turbo has in fact tried it. Did not see that Turbo go into the pits, which is weird because I was commentating on him at the front. I just assumed he went by when I was watching Chris go by as well, which is just me being blind, I guess. We've still got Honey Badger quite significantly ahead of Mortal, and Chris in 3rd, Perry in 4th, but I am very much in the camp that Turbo Boy is in a very, very good position right now. Ross has a half-second penalty, which will lead Bodnian into 6th place at some point during this lap as well. And it might be before that penalty line even hits. Dude is currently in 5th. But we also have one of the guys that have pits, and we'll see where he comes out against everyone in a minute's time. But we go down towards the straight at the end of the straight here, into the second chicane even. And the front 2 have a significant gap. Look at that. Not the usual gap you get at Le Mans. Honey Badger has a clear lead over Mortal, who has a clear advantage over Chris in 3rd. Perry in 4th as well. Dude in 5th, so we'll wait and see how the pit lane shuffles everything up. we now go down toward the end, halfway point of the lap realistically. Here comes Perry on the inside of Chris, looking to get the position, and I think he's already got it down the inside. And there's no deep line here for Perry, which means Perry's going to hold on to that third place. Took it off Chris in the corner there and manages to hold it as well. Don't think he's going to be complaining too much with that, but I also think he desperately needed clean air because he needs to put some soft tyres down, and he isn't doing any of that right now. We got the back here, battle in the back here, and I think that is Bosnian versus Ross, I believe. We also have OG versus Asseldor here, but Asseldor's got 1.5 seconds. We'll continue to watch it just for now and see if there's anything extra that's picked up. It doesn't look like anything's going to get picked up, but an OG overtake. There we go, OG up into 8th now as he continues to fight on through. And also, I think Ben was against Elian there, and I think Beaver won that one as well. And now Asseldor's going to serve his penalty and drop quite a significant way back. Definitely going to be back behind Beaver and behind Ian as well. The front six, well, the front six are relatively close. I wouldn't say too close, given that first and second are gone in the distance at the moment. To the point where they're not even realistically visible in these shots. Well, next time we'll see them visible, probably be down more than straight, but we're now going to see who does it to the pit. And by who does it to the pit, I mean literally the rest of the grid are going to pit. Literally everyone. So we're just about to see the entire grid now dive to the inside. What's going to happen here? It doesn't look like anyone's going to get a penalty so good or so far through the line here. Perry's picked up 1 second. I think he made a mistake in terms of track limits. We'll wait and see whether or not there's going to be times added to a few of these. Mortal on the medium tyres stays out one more for some reason. Not entirely sure what the thinking is here. And Mortal's going to do a 6.4, which I'm bewildered by that in terms of the fact that it should be 6 on soft. The soft do not die here. If you have the tank to do 6, you should be doing 6. But it should be on the soft tyres, not the medium. So I think he made a bit of a strategy blunder here, Mortal. We'll wait and see whether that is the case. Who's the one that's out on track? Turbo Boy going over the line now. Let's see where he comes out in comparison to everybody. And I think that's Honey Badger getting out of the pits now. Honey Badger's going out. Same with Perry. Perry's got a second penalty though, and Turbo Boy's going to go waltzing on through. And I think that means Turbo Boy is... I think this is third in this race now. I think Chris is in second. Yeah, Chris is in second. So it's a good race so far for Chris. He needed one to get back into the swing of things. And Turbo Boy's gamble seemingly paying off as well. He's put himself in fourth at the moment. Let's see if he's going to be able to just roll with those softs for as long as humanly possible. Bear in mind that Perry's got a second penalty behind him, and the dude is probably just about within range of that. But it's the dude and OG is no slouch. So, the front four, very split. Mortal starts to pit. You've got a Honey Badger in the lead of this race at this point in time, doing fairly well with it. You've got Chris in third, net P2, third on track at the moment. Then you've got Turbo, who's a lot closer to Perry, who's a lot closer to the dude who's being chased down rapidly here by OG. The rest of the group in the back there. Starting to close up, but not really forcing anything at all. Here comes OG. Is OG going to force something here? He's going to go to the inside on the dude. The dude using Perry's slipstream to his advantage. He's still holding on, and he's going to close off that inside very quickly and make sure that OG has nowhere to go in terms of an overtake. And OG having to sit himself behind dude who's won 2 races so far this season. I'm pretty sure OG's won at least 1. So both race winners this season. Perry not fortunate to see that, to be able to say that this season in the Porsche, which is rather surprising. Dude on the inside now, Perry, and dude gets past Perry. I think On the outside, might be about to as well. It's a little bit deep. It's a little bit deep there from OG, and I think Perry holds on for a split second longer. And this means that OG is going to have a little bit of separation from the dude here, because Perry is going to have a penalty served not that long that long time. A couple of corners where we head into the penalty line. The Mortal's about to head into the pits. As we're about just over halfway in this in lap 6 of this race. It looks like Perry just holding off OG as much as he can for now, but he's got a penalty and OG will go through sooner rather than later, and that sooner rather than later is now. Mortal has gone into the pits as well. Perry's now served his penalty and he's dropped all the way back behind OG now and into the clutches of Ross, his teammate. Maybe Ross might even get him here. I think Ross is going to go get him. And medium tires for Perry compared to Ross, soft for literally every other person on the grid as well. And Ross has gone and got him. Up into 7th goes his teammate, and I think that'll leave Bosnian to get a really good shot here. Perry. We'll see whether or not that just takes down into the Multan straight to do so though. As it looks like Dude and OG are going at it yet again. These two now into the chicane. They survive to not go side by side here. They definitely spell disaster if you do. And we're going into the end of lap 6, beginning of lap 7 here. OG just losing a little bit of time now. The dude getting that chicane right and now chasing down Turbo Boy. And Mortal has come out of the pits. And he is in the lead of this race. Mortal is in the lead of this race. 6 on the mediums, 4 on the soft is a bold strategy, but it's a strategy that I think he's made work nonetheless somehow. And he's on fresh softs as well. And this might be cruise control here for Mortal the entire way back. If he can keep the car on track, he's only got 4 laps left to do it. We're now in sprint territory and Mortal was comfortably in the lead of that as well. And yeah, Mortal definitely got out in front, definitely clear in front as well. It looks like we've got a few battles going on behind Dude and OG. Also trying to go at it down the straight. OG probably should be bump drafting in Dude to see if they can get to Turbo Boy sooner rather than later. You got the fact that you got Chris also there, and goes OG to the inside. And these two have a lot of history. And Dude loses his car a little bit on the exit of the first chicane. And OG is just having to sit behind it once again, and instead of helping, they're actively hindering their race now. Turbo Boy's starting to drive away just a little bit. It should be a case that they should be willing to help each other here. Just for the sake that they both want good positions, they can see cars in front of them as well. And here comes OG to the inside again, and doesn't go for it this time. He definitely looked for it, but he didn't go for the full thing, and it's probably wise because they can't afford to lose more time, especially in Dude's scenario where he's going after Honey Badger, and that's currently the championship fight going into Le Mans. You've got Kyoto next week, or Kyoto on Monday, and Blue Moon after that. We'll see whether or not they're gonna change up and everything like that. Whilst we go to those two, definitely a tire wear heavy track on Monday. So if you've got high tire wear, you don't make this race count, you're going to be struggling to make the next one count at the very least. Blue Moon might be somewhere in between, but Kyoto is an absolute death machine to its tires. Here comes the dude on the inside of Turbo, and he gets it. He gets the move done pretty easily as well. That was effortless. Using the overspeed down into Indianapolis, and he got it right up into 4th goes Dude, and he needed that breathing space from OG as well. And now OG has to try and tackle Turbo Boy relatively quickly, and it also looks like Honey Badger is not going to get much back on the swing here. You've got Mortal, and then you've got Honey Badger, and it doesn't look like Honey Badger's close enough to Mortal to really do anything here. As we are now heading toward the end of 7. And Chris is in the middle of no man's land back there as well, as he's just driving on his own in 3rd place. I don't think he's going to complain with driving on his own in 3rd place, but I think he would be preferably driving against the guys at the front. That's deep. That's very deep for Turbo. That's a penalty. No questions asked about that. Yeah, it's half a second. It's a case of how much not if he got one. OG will just take advantage of that at the next lap if he hasn't already got by down the straight. We're now heading towards turn 1. We are now also on lap 8 of 10 here at Le Mans. We're about 29 minutes through this race. It looks like someone's had a little bit of a nightmare about that. I think it might have been Elian. It was Elian that's just driving like he's drunk at the exit of the final chicane. It looks like also Perry just did not get good. Perry just got the strategy wrong, blatantly wrong today. I think he got everything wrong today, to be honest with you. Yeah, there's a lot of cars on this track that don't have the beans, the Porsche included. But you've got to get the strategy right at the very least. He did not do that. Right, down the straight we go. We've got Mortal from Honey Badger. Yeah, we got Mortal from Honey Badger 1st and 2nd right now. Then you got Chris in 3rd, Dude in 4th, Turbo in 5th, OG in 6th. And OG is starting to lose a little bit of time here to Turbo, but it shouldn't be too long before he gains that all back. And as soon as I say that, he just absolutely nailed the following corner of both the chicane. Nailed the first chicane there. And now Turbo Boy's got to fight to actually hold on to his position here as they go down the second part of this straight. And here comes OG to the inside, and it's easily done. And OG's now up to 5th, with a little bit of ground to cover up here to try and catch the dude who's catching up to Chris relatively easily. And yeah, OG finally gets past Turbo Boy with the braking. Bearing in mind the tyres are just as good as they were, pretty much as good as they were at the start. They don't fall off at Le Mans for some reason. Turbo Boy also has a half second to deal with as we got Ross and Bodnian in the background. Ross has a 2 second to deal with, so he's going to drop back to Elian and Big Beaver at the penalty line in a couple of corners time. But Bodnian for now is going to go to the inside of Ross, and he's going to get him. Bodnian up ahead of Ross, and now let's see if Bodnian can get close enough to Turbo. When it comes to this actual penalty, see if Bodnian can inherit 2 for the price of 1. But for now, it's definitely good news for Bodnian and not good news for the cars on either side of it. Geez, not really doing an awful lot there in 5th. He's trying to close down the dude, but the dude is also lightning quick around here when is definitely catching up to Chris. Fastest lap of the race so far, 57.5 from Honey Badger, who currently sits in 2nd. He is a significant portion of this track behind Mortal, and that definitely means that we're about to head toward the end of 8, sorry. And Mortal has 2 laps to hang on. As long as Mortal plays this safe, he shouldn't really be able to get caught. There's got to be at least a 3 or 4 second gap there between Mortal and Honey Badger behind. Now Mortal heading into the chicane. So he's doing a good job of holding himself in the lead to this one. I was questioning the strategy of all things. Seemed that I may have been questioning the wrong things today. Chris is still there, dude not really close enough to do anything whatsoever, and same with OG. Dude's just hanging out for now. Turbo's got another half second, that will definitely take him behind Bodnian at the penalty line on lap 9. And Ross after 7 and 2 seconds is ever so slightly ahead of Big Beaver, who's currently in 9th with Alien in 10th as well. And a lot of things in the back that are very interesting. There's a half second here for Assador, bringing closer to Perry. Perry on the medium tyres is desperately just trying to find anything at this point. You know, Nectar, who also realistically hasn't done an awful lot today, Faxon, and then Dan the Man, who's just been a non-factor since his incident with Bodnian and Ben earlier on in the day. Mortal's got 1.5 seconds. Mortal has a 1.5 second penalty at the lead of this race, and Honey Badger is close to him now. Bearing in mind the GT 1.5 seconds is effectively almost doubled. It'll be 2.5, maybe 3 seconds to actually take chunks out of him. And let's see what really is going to happen here. I don't know if that 1.5 is going to be enough to drag Honey Badger in front of him, but it's certainly going to drag him beside him at the very least. You got Chris in third. Dude is really close to Chris now, and OG not as close to the Dude as he would want to be. So, with the current standings in this race through what, 8.5 now, you've got 22 in this race for Honey Badger and 18 for the Dude, so it's only a 4-point swing back in the favour of Honey Badger. It's about a 10-point gap as it stands at the top of this championship. Kyoto next week will almost certainly be more the Merc track than it would be the Viper track. The Viper, one thing it's known for is not being good on its tyres. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. As we're now going to watch Mortal heading towards Indianapolis, through Indianapolis now, and with a penalty to serve. How close is that 1.5 going to bring him? Bearing in mind he's got 1 lap left to go after this, and he could be dealing with anything but this right now. And there we go, penalty now enforced. Is he going to be able to stay in front? Here comes Honey Badger. He is coming. He's not going to get close enough to Mortal, but he is within slip now. Definitely within slip. 100% within slip now is Honey Badger on Mortal. And the Dude has got past Chris for third as well. And here comes Honey Badger to the inside. Can he do it? And Honey Badger has taken the lead. A little bit of an audacious move. I didn't think he had that much time in it. But Honey Badger has now taken the lead. And the real question now is that 1 lap too early? Is there a possibility that Mortal with the slipstream gets back at Honey Badger here? Or will Honey Badger lock this down? There was a 1.5 seconds penalty for Mortal that has definitely been his undoing. And he is starting to lose the ability to hold with Honey Badger as Honey Badger is going through now. We are now on lap 10. About the 36th, nearly 37th minute here. So it's very, very interesting to see right now whether or not Mortal is going to be able to have the slipstream required to do anything about this. It was a large penalty to get at the worst possible time if you're Mortal, who desperately needs a slipstream now. Is he gonna get close enough to realistically benefit? Honey Badger looked like he kept the car on track. No penalty for him. As we're now heading down the Mulsanne one last time. Is he going to be able to get this? I think Honey Badger's going to hold on to this. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it at all. Mortal just not able to get anywhere near him. Down into the first chicane that he is running out of time desperately here, Mortal, to recover his mistake. One mistake is enough to do you in these kind of races, especially when it's this close. And it turns out that is going to be the case for Mortal here. As we head down to the second chicane. And there's no real chance now that Mortal closes this gap. He's not even on the back of Honey Badger at this point. And the Honey Badger is just going to calmly drive this one now. As long as he now knows, as long as he doesn't get a penalty. Oh, he looked like he was saving himself from a penalty there. As long as he doesn't get a penalty, he should have this one wrapped up. It looked like it's going to be the case here. OG gets past Chris for fourth as well. And Honey Badger down into what's realistically the halfway point of the final lap. He's gone through and it's not deep. Mortal definitely has a better run though. And Mortal is, albeit running out of time, but still has the slip. Still has another couple of chances here towards Indianapolis. Can he do it in the final half of this lap? The final half of the lap that definitely suits that Mercedes rather than the Viper. But he's running out of time. He's gone alongside. Can he get himself in front? He has got himself in front. And Mortal has managed to rectify the mistake from last lap. He just can't get a penalty now. Here comes the inside for Honey Badger. Honey Badger's gone to the inside of Mortal. Who's going to get the better exit? As we head down into the final couple of sectors now. A 90-degree right-hander. And now Mortal is still in the lead. Mortal still hanging on by a thread now from Honey Badger. As he has rectified his mistake from lap 9. And there's a penalty in the back there. I'm not entirely sure who it's for. I think it was for Chris. It is for Chris. As we continue to watch to the end of this race. And it looks like Honey Badger is running out of time. Mortal had the literally last chance saloon there at Honey Badger down into Indianapolis. He took it. Oh my God. And the second penalty there for Honey Badger as well. And that is the final nail in the coffin. The worst possible time to get a penalty. And you can add another half second to that as well. He's way deeper than he needs to be. There, and it's going to double at the end of this race, remember, because that's how GT penalties work if you haven't served them on the final lap. As we now go towards the final set of chicanes, he somehow avoided a second penalty. Mortal to the line over the final chicane. Will he do it? He will not. Well, actually, will win on track, and he will win in terms of the penalties as well. Mortal over the line, and it's the double Viper win in Le Mans. Dude wins the first one after Mortal spins out and then got collected by his teammate. But Mortal makes no mistake of the second one, albeit he tried it. He tried every method in the book to try and throw it away. But he wins the race nonetheless, and Honey Badger's going to have to settle for second. Dude is going to get third. OG gets fourth. Dude having a great day at first and a third. OG in fourth, Chris gets fifth, a decent day for him. Bosnian gets sixth, Turbo seventh, Ben in eighth. Ross gets ninth, a bad day at the office for the Porsches, ninth and 10th. Half Acid gets 11th, Nectar gets 12th, Dan 13th, and I think that was Asseldor at the back of the grid. And there you go. And that is the end of the day for Tier 2 at Le Mans. Let's have a very, very quick rundown of the standings as they are. I still believe this is pre-stewards. So this may be subject to change coming into Kyoto, but we're going to take a look at them very briefly now anyway. Let's have a look. So the Viper, after a double win today, doing pretty well. And it looked like, so the dude, 140. So the dude had a 13-point gap over Honey Badger in second on 127, 115 for Bosnian. It looked like a Merc versus a Viper battle, and that's about it. And Mortal is in fourth on 114, 109 for OG, 106. For Ross and a 101 for Turbo Boy, everyone who broke out into the 100, broke the 100 barrier so far through 6. And given that last week we were 8 people within 21 points, this week there's that same. If we were just to take that same gap, it would be solidified down to a 2-horse race. And I'm not entirely sure how they separate so quickly. But the dude taking huge control of this one. But yeah, 13-point lead and a 25 to Bosnian and then a 26 to his own teammate. Realistically, the only 4 that could do something with 2 to go. As for constructors, that is realistically maybe a 2, yeah, probably a 2-horse race with 2 to go now as well. The GTR probably hanging just on the outside on 201, and then you've got Merc 20 on 242 and the Viper on 254. So that is an 8-point gap with Kyoto and Blue Moon to go. It's going to be a good one in Tier 2. It's going to be a good one to the end. The Viper at a significant disadvantage over the Merc next week. Let's see if we can go. Let's see if everything gets flipped on its head once again in Kyoto. But for now, I've been Pyro. This has been Tier 2 Cons for Le Mans. And I will see you guys probably roughly this time next week. In a bit.